However, freedom is not free. America can only help our friends as much as they help themselves. The United States is committed to maintaining the military capacity to not deny aggression anywhere in the First Island chain. However, the NSS also emphasizes that the United States cannot and should not bear this burden alone.
Now, it is my greatest pleasure to introduce our keynote speaker for today. Please join me in welcoming Director of the American Institute in Taiwan, Mr. Raymond Green, who will deliver his keynote address entitled Investing Together and a Secure and Prosperous Future. 接下来，让我们隆重介绍今天的专题演讲贵宾，有请美国在台协会处长胡立言先生以携手投资共创安全繁荣的未来为题，发表专题演讲。
CEO Ko, Deputy Minister Chen, Senior Advisor Huang, Director General Miao, General Bo, members of the Diplomatic Corps, ladies and gentlemen, friends of the media, good morning. Let me begin by thanking INDSR for hosting me today and for your exceptional work to analyze the regional and global security environment. This analysis is needed now more than ever. Indeed, the world we live in today is facing security challenges unlike any we have witnessed since the 1930s, and for many of the same reasons. Just as the utopian vision of the League of Nations failed to contain deep economic fissures and historical grievances then, the false pursuit of globalism at any cost has left the world today unprepared to meet existential threats that now confront us. For too long, we turned a blind eye to the fact that certain countries were gaming global rules to build up their national power at the expense of other nations' workers and families, including Americans and our partners. The belief that economic interdependence would ensure peace led many U.S. allies to underinvest in their defense. Under President Trump's leadership, America is making urgent course corrections that will ensure our continued primacy while avoiding a repeat of the tragedies suffered in world wars during the last century. This correction started with jettisoning the embrace of unfettered globalism and internalizing the lessons of past campaigns that left many Americans wary of endless wars. In their place is not isolationism, but rather a clear-eyed focus on proactive diplomacy and robust deterrence to ensure lasting peace. We will steadfastly stand by our allies and partners to protect their freedom and promote their security. However, freedom is not free. America can only help our friends as much as they help themselves. Nowhere is the importance of sharing the benefits of freedom and jointly sharing the responsibility of preserving it more important than when it comes to this part of the world. As President Trump's National Security Strategy, or NSS, articulates, the United States is committed to maintaining the military capacity to not deny aggression anywhere in the First Island chain. However, the NSS also emphasizes that the United States cannot and should not bear this burden alone. It calls on our partners to invest more in their defense, and importantly, to invest in capabilities that will deter regional aggression. With the support of allies like Japan, Korea, Australia, and the Philippines, we are deploying our most advanced defense capabilities up and down the First Island chain. Our allies are also making important investments in their own forces, and together we are maintaining regional peace and stability, responding to coercive actions, and collectively ensuring the, quote, capacity to deny any attempt to seize Taiwan, as the NSS characterizes our goals. The NSS further makes clear that Taiwan is the key pivot point in the First Island chain, connecting the East China and South China Seas and providing direct access to the Pacific Ocean. Together with Taiwan's enormous economic significance, this strategic position makes deterring conflict in the Taiwan Strait essential to the security of the United States, the world, and of course, Taiwan. Taiwan's commitment to fulfilling its critical role in preserving regional peace is increasingly clear. Since returning to Taipei a year and a half ago, I've been deeply impressed with the scope and pace of Taiwan's defense reforms. The Taiwan military's new erosion strategy embraces the island's natural geography and leverages the use of asymmetric capabilities that can neutralize a much larger force. Conducting an amphibious invasion over a tumultuous body of water onto a mountainous, densely populated island is arguably one of the most difficult military operations imaginable. The steps Taiwan is taking, such as the recent deployment of explosive barriers in the Danshui River, are making that scenario even more daunting. And this is not just about plans. It's about building appropriate force structure and conducting realistic training. Taiwan successfully extended its conscription period from 4 to 12 months and reformed its reserve forces, significantly deepening the pool of combat-ready personnel. A ready reserve force properly trained and equipped serves as a significant deterrent to any would-be aggressor. Another critical change in Taiwan's preparedness is instilling the concept of mission command. Mission command is an asymmetric advantage enjoyed by democratic societies over authoritarian ones. Trusting skilled subordinate commanders on the battlefield to execute their assigned tasks without detailed direction from above provides both resilience to attacks on key command and control nodes, as well as operational flexibility. The Taiwan military has also demonstrated its ability to leverage Taiwan's urban environment, deploying forces in civilian neighborhoods and Taipei subways during this past summer's Hanguan exercise. Alongside that exercise, participation of civilian agencies and local government in urban resilience drills across the island showcased that deterrence is increasingly a whole-of-society effort. Taiwan's public support for these exercises underscores their growing appreciation for the role of Taiwan's military in preserving peace. The public is increasingly participating in resilience drills, showing resolve to protect their homes and their livelihoods. Of course, visitors always ask me when they visit, what about the Taiwan will fight? Naturally, I point to polls that show more of the Taiwan public says they're willing to defend their homelands than Ukrainians did when they were asked before February of 2022. Just as importantly, I emphasize that the will to fight is closely related to the will to prepare. And the civilian record here over the past 2 years has been just as impressive as in the military sphere. Taiwan society has long been blessed with a deep tradition of volunteerism and civic activism. In the many resilience drills I have observed, I saw churches, temples, local associations, and NGOs out in force helping central and local authorities prepare to respond to crises, whether man-made or natural. The self-mobilization of tens of thousands of volunteers to help Hualien communities impacted by floods this past fall was a real-world demonstration of the spirit. Taiwan's people always rise to the challenge and support each other, and in promoting deterrence and preventing conflict, they continue to do the same. The robust support from Taiwan's leaders and population is in turn having a palpable impact on Taiwan military's confidence. Since arriving in Taiwan, I've had the chance to visit frontline operational units, talk to soldiers, sailors, airmen, and Marines. Their morale and commitment to mission has been inspiring. It is no surprise that recruitment and retention levels are the highest they've been in recent years. What Taiwan service members need now are the tools to accomplish their mission. That is why President Lai Ching-te's commitment to increasing Taiwan's defense fund spending to 5% of GDP by 2030, including through a 1.25 trillion new Taiwan dollar special budget, is so critical. Taiwan is moving to spend more, yes, but most importantly, it is spending in smarter ways. The Lai administration's focus on acquiring low-cost, asymmetric systems like drones and anti-ship missiles, resilient and distributed communications and battlefield awareness capabilities, and integrated air and missile defenses completely aligns with Taiwan's military needs. The United States is fully committed to delivering critical systems as quickly as possible. We are also working with Taiwan industry to expand its domestic defense industrial base. These defense and technology partnerships not only will boost Taiwan's self-defense capability, but will also expand Taiwan's manufacturing capabilities, provide jobs, and pivot Taiwan to becoming a powerhouse in trusted global defense supply chains. That is why we have partnered with Taiwan to establish secure supply chains for drones and other autonomous systems. For example, Anduril implemented a strategic supply chain initiative in Taiwan to find multi-source suppliers for key components to enhance global supply chain resilience across products such as Ghost X UAS, which is sold to both U.S. and international markets. Shield AI has also invested heavily in Taiwan's supply chain, buying and utilizing tens of millions in Taiwanese components and products, and has formally teamed with AIDC, Taiwan's leading prime contractor. We're also expanding defense armaments cooperation programs. Northrop Grumman, for example, has installed a medium-caliber ammunition test range in Taiwan. The facility allows Taiwan's Ministry of National Defense to test ammunition to global industry standards, allowing advancements of indigenous development projects through the transfer of technology, proprietary procedures, and expert training. We also look to Taiwan as a key partner to advance the frontiers of defense technologies, building off the dynamism in our respective commercial sectors. For example, in the crucial field of artificial intelligence, America is already the world leader in R&D, innovation, and applications, while Taiwan provides the manufacturing and hardware backbone. Combining these complementary capabilities offers the promise of developing edge computing and embodied AI applications for drones, command and control, air defense, and other platforms that can further revolutionize deterrence. The objective of all of these efforts is to establish conditions for dialogue free from coercion. The United States has always insisted on the peaceful resolution of cross-strait differences. Until that can happen, we continue to support the status quo. A status quo that is favored by the overwhelming majority of the Taiwan people, a status quo enabled by the Taiwan Relations Act in support of Taiwan's self-defense capabilities, and a status quo that has underwritten global peace and prosperity for decades. Taiwan's actions to restore the cross-strait military balance will remove the use of force as an option and give Taiwan the confidence to engage in dialogue at the appropriate time. In closing, let me once again extend my thanks to INDSR for hosting me today. We are confident that our joint efforts, including through security assistance, strengthening supply chain security, and promoting defense industrial cooperation, will make Taiwan more secure, resilient, and prosperous. Working together, I'm confident that the collaboration will benefit the people of the United States, Taiwan, and the world. Thank you so much. 谢谢大家。
Thank you, Director Green, for your thoughtful and forward-looking address. Your remarks clearly illustrated the close connection between defense investment, security, and long-term prosperity.
Introducing Servo from Soul Fitness. Take on your biggest goals with over 150 gym quality moves, plus 260 pounds of resistance in 3 workout modes, including eccentric and isokinetic resistance. Connect to the Soul Plus app to access movement demos and coach-led workouts. See personalized performance insights and track progress. When you're done, simply slide it away. Perform your best with Servo from Soul Fitness.
面对挑战，我需要有好体力、好精神。为健康护航，我有安永鲈鱼精灵芝玉品，以金奖鲈鱼精为基底，科技萃取营养精华，分子小，好吸收。添加日本皇室御用灵芝子实体、专利灵芝菌丝体， 调整体质，健康维持，增强体力，一包三用，3大优势，守护你的健康。安永鲈鱼精灵芝玉品，看一丁就安心。
严选土耳其黄金芝麻，低温慢磨锁住浓郁香气，无防腐剂，无人工香料，纯粹来自天然。选用低饱和脂肪的油菜籽油，轻盈无负担，香浓滑顺，一酱百搭，一试成主顾。第一名店黄金芝麻酱，限时优惠就在好事多。